Oh yeah, man. Street dances all over the world. Yeah. You know what you gotta do. Word. Yeah. Let's go. Come on. Oh yeah. The turntable spins using new ability, agility that wins. And then your crew got burned. To be the master of the craft, you gotta practice to learn, kid. The street dancer breaks with 1990s and the 80s paved the way for the days. B-boys emulating the greats like 40 Freeze, crazy legs, dynamic breakers with shake. Let's dance to the beat of the drummer that's funky. Way before the beat, this was bugging on Brass Monkey. Hip hop, new cruises, Foxy, Angelie. In the boxy DJing was Africa Bambaataa. Brought back to the Bronx, crew Herc the innovator. DJing sound systems, toasting in Jamaica. Got posting, the host with the most money maker. Now I'm moving bricks, but I started out as a breaker. The turntable spins, brothers cautious, listening to Bob James Dauntless, and of course James Brown, funky drummer the sound in the summer, before you saw the hustler in the Hummer. Yeah, and a few years later Melly Mel changed up his gear and switched the game up. The gangs of New York ceased banging for beat, once the whole 5 girls break dancing up in the street. Yeah, the turntable spins, the DJ and MC coincide like twins. The crowd grins cause they know what they came to hear. It's important what you wear, uniform in the fresh gear. Hip hop was visible and heard by many. A backdrop or a mural in the park with graffiti. Dancers, rappers, original, not phony men. Windbreaker jackets, knee pads on linoleum.
Dance, make it move, keep it poppin', keep it locked down. Dance, first position, winning groove, DJ spinning round. Dance, it's your time to shine, all the avenue. See dance all over the world.
Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor. Hey, yo, you catch a wreck on the floor.
Make it move, keep it poppin', keep it locked down. Dance, first position, winning groove, DJ spinning round. Dance, it's your time to shine, all the avenue. See dance all over the world.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Robert from Jobs 180, and this is Jobs 180's Marketing Me Live. Now, today's session is done for and in cooperation with St. Michael's College of Laguna. So, everyone, thank you for joining. But before we continue, I would first like to invite you to join us for a quick prayer.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy
Hello once again, and again, thank you for coming. Now, we would like to get to know you better. We want to get to know our viewers better. Again, this event is for SMCL, but we inform as well yung ibang schools sa area that they could have their students or alumni join us as well. And with that said, we want to make sure that we know where you're coming from. So please comment here your name, school, course, or the year that you graduated or year that you are graduating. So please comment if there's a comment box. We will be monitoring it, and then we will see if some kayo nanggagaling. So again, that's your name, school, course, year graduated, or the year that you are graduating. So thank you to the school officials for sharing this info, disseminating the info dito sa kanilang students and alumni. Of course, special thanks to our partners from SMCL. And with that said, we would like to share a message. This message is from SMCL's Associate Director for the Counseling and Career Services Center. Message from Ms. Ruth and Musi.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the administrators of St. Michael's College of Laguna, I'd like to welcome all educators, administrators, students, and alumni who are listening to us right now through FB or the YouTube. This virtual career webinar, Marketing Me, is made possible through the efforts of Jobs 180 to provide their school partners with the most relevant and responsive career platforms and services. For the information of everybody, Jobs 180 had always been assisting our students through career sessions conducted in our college. This virtual webinar is indeed a rare opportunity and a clear proof that not even the pandemic can stop us from reaching out to our stakeholders and partners in the industry. For those with us now, make sure to be consistently attentive, take down notes, and grab the opportunity to listen to the industry experts as they share the new trends in the job market and the necessary skills to become employable or marketable in this age of the fourth industrial revolution, so they say. Should you find yourself thinking that you already know what they have to say, think twice or thrice. Have an open mind and grab whatever new knowledge you can get from the sharing. Again, welcome everyone and enjoy learning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth, for taking the time to prepare the message, to welcome our audience, and to encourage them to participate, to listen to what we have to say here. So thank you very much. Moving forward, I would like to show all our viewers what we will be talking about today. So we have 3 topics here today. First is effective communication skills. And we have someone from Cognizant Technology Solutions to be our speaker for that. Next, interview tips from LNT International Group Philippines. And then last, work opportunities in Laguna. If you could see, maraming companies nakalagay dito because unlike the first and second, kung saan we have one speaker and then this speaker would be giving the entire topic, dun sa last, well, it's a panel discussion. So work opportunities in Laguna, third session, panel discussion. So whatever it is, whether it's a talk or first, second session or the third session, we encourage you to comment your questions sa comment box. Please type it there, and we will be monitoring it. And then we have a short Q&A after. Dun sa first two topics, we will be reading the questions out loud for our speaker to address. Okay, so we are looking forward na comment na kayo dyan ng inyong question. So let's move on to our first topic. So to introduce our first speaker will be talking about effective communication skills. She graduated from University of the Philippines Diliman Extension Program in Pampanga with a degree in Bachelor of Arts in Applied Psychology. Her experiences as an executive member of several student organizations during college has motivated her to pursue a fulfilling career in human resources. Let's all welcome the HR Sourcing Assistant from Cognizant, Ms. Jane Sophia Sapit. Good afternoon, Ms. Jane. Hello,
Hi,
nice
good
to see you, Ms.
afternoon.
Jane. So, hope you're doing
Nice
well
seeing you
right
again.
now. So, well,
Yes, I am. I
I'm
hope you're
sure,
doing well too.
alam ko, medyo sanay ka na sa amin. So, as for our usual procedure, test po natin ang inyong screen, share screens. Because so far, your video is fine and your audio is fine. So, test na lang natin ang inyong screen for your presentation and then we can move on. So, kapag nandiyan yung presentation nyo, once I'm backstage, pwede na kayo magsimula. And as announced to our viewers, after this, meron tayong Q&A. So please ask your questions para kay Ms. Jane regarding tong sa topic niya. And again, reminder to all of viewers, please comment your name, your course, school, and the year that you graduated or the year that you are graduating dito sa comment section. Right now, Miss Jane, I can see your screen. Naka-full screen siya. Your video's okay. Audio's okay. So I'll be heading backstage. Tapos once I'm backstage, you can start now with your presentation and I will see you later for the Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks again, Sir Robert. And again, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jane from Cognizant Technology Solutions. So I know currently most of you who are watching are students, and I just want to say that you are at this point in your life right now where your biggest priority or focus is learning. This topic that I'm going to talk to you about, which is communication skills, is something that has been taught to you your whole life. But for some reason or some ways, maybe you feel that you still need help in your communication skills, or nahihirapan ka or natatakot ka pa rin makapag-communicate. So if you're one of those people na kinakabahan or even nagpapanik kapag natatawag para magsalita, so or in general, hirap ka lang i-express yung words mo and your thoughts in words, whether it is written or verbal. So this afternoon, I want to share with you some of the tips that you can do or take for you to improve your communication skills. So some of the tips that I'll be sharing are applicable to when you are struggling your oral communication skills. Some are effective naman for your written communication skills because actually communication is a big topic. So for this afternoon, we will be just focusing on verbal communication first, which is the use of words to share information to other people. Then we will be breaking it down further so it is not overwhelming by having an overview of what are the various aspects of verbal communication depending on the types. So we have two types of verbal communications. First, we have written and then we also have oral. Some aspects of this communication types are shared by these two. As you can see, we have grammar and structure both in written and oral. And of course, we also have some differences between them, like spelling, punctuation, pronunciation, and tone. So, iisa-isahin natin yan para you can understand and see what aspects is critical to you and maybe based on your course. For example, ang course mo ay maraming reporting. So, ang kailangan mo dyan, or reports. So, ang kailangan mo dyan ay written communication skills. Kapag naman ang course mo ay maraming presentation, so ang kailangan mo dyan oral communication skills. So, depende sa kung ano yung critical para sa'yo, we're gonna take some time to understand the different aspects. So, alam mo kung saan mo pwedeng i-direct or i-focus ang efforts mo to improve. Okay? First, let us discuss what is grammar. So, grammar is very important. It is the set of rules for how words connect into phrases and phrases into sentences and so on. You could have the most impressive vocabulary. You can include all the impressive words that you got from dictionary, but if you cannot use it, it will not impress anyone if you put those words in wrong grammar. So as you can see, grammar is really very important. And I want to note that grammar varies from one language to another. So, iba ang grammar rules ng Tagalog sa English. A simple example to show this is kapag sa ating Tagalog or Filipinos, when we want to make something plural, we just add yung word na mga, right? For example, isang babae which will mean babae. And kung sa atin gawing plural, magiging ang mga babae. So it's that simple. Iba yung rules kapag English. If we want to make something verbal, or if we want to make something plural, we have to change the spelling of the word. So using our example, if we want to make woman plural, it will be women. So magiging iba yung spelling, right? And if it's girl naman, magiging girls. So we change the spelling to make it plural, like by adding S or ES or IES. Tapos, mag-iiba completely yung verbs na dapat gamitin. Depende kung singular nga or plural. So, ito yung pinaka-basic example that shows why it's not that easy for us to transition, or it's not easy for us to speak from Tagalog to English right away, especially if you don't have that great foundation in basic English grammar rules. Okay? So, grammar is really very important. Excuse me. Next is we have structure. So structure naman refers to the way we organize what we communicate. So this is also very important because we people receive or process information better when it is organized. So quickly, I want to give you some of the most common ways to structure perhaps the essay that you're writing or your answer to a interview question or a recitation. These are the most common structures that you can use. So first, we have what, so what, now what. So this means any topic that you want, that will be your what. And then, so what pertains to ano ba yung importance ng topic na yon. And then, the now what usually involves the different steps that you can take to learn or further explain the topic. For example, we have basketball. So that is our what, that is our topic. And then if we want to expound it and transition to the so what part, we have to discuss the importance of basketball. And then for the third part or the ending, we can just we can explain what are the different steps that you can take for you to learn basketball. So that is the number one, or one of the most common structures that is being used, whether it's written or oral. And then the other one that is most common is the problem, solution, and benefit. So for this structure naman, you can take any problem that you want or you need and then provide solution to that problem. And then for the ending, you can say what are the reasons why or what are the benefits for you solving this problem. So that is those are the two most common structures that are being used, whether it's written or oral communications. Okay, next we have spelling under written communications. So syempre dapat correct ang spelling. spelling or it would not make sense. Counterpart naman ng spelling sa oral communications, since it's oral, it involves speaking words out loud, so you have to be mindful of your pronunciation. So as yung pronunciation, dito tayo madalas nadadali mga Pinoy eh. Kasi matigas yung salita natin. So napagpapalit natin madalas yung F to from F to P nagiging C to K, mga ganyan. So one step that you can do right away is for you to practice some tongue twisters. So using practicing some tongue twisters will not only help you with your pronunciation, but if you do it perhaps before a presentation or a speech, it can help you warm up your vocals as well. Okay, so that's one thing that you can do for the pronunciation part. And then another aspect of written communications would be punctuation. So the oral counterpart naman nun is would be tone, since we don't read out loud periods or commas. We just pause or stop, diba? So for tone, it varies according to the purpose of what we are saying or what we are communicating. We have a different tone when we are asking a question. We have a different tone when we are informing someone or about something. And we have a different tone when we are trying to convince or trying to sell. So along with this, we also have different, nag-iiba rin yung mga speed, yung volume, yung stress, and all of that falls in the tone category of the tone aspect of our oral communication skills. So there, these are the different aspects of verbal communication and some tips specific sa aspect. My advice is for you to choose alin ba dito yung important or critical, again, sa course mo or perhaps sa target job mo. Kung kailangan, if you're planning to apply as a salesman, so syempre ang importanteng communication skills dyan ay selling, verbal, so oral ang kailangan mong i-focus. So, depende sa'yo kung ano yung important or perhaps sa tingin mo dito ka naglalak, so you can focus on that. But if you feel naman na lahat ng to, you need improvement, what I would advise is for you to prioritize grammar. Kasi diyan nakaroot lahat ng, diyan nakaroot ang performance mo or ang speech mo, communication skills mo. So, kahit gaano kaganda yung pronunciation mo, kahit gaano kaganda or ka-organize yung sentence flow mo, kung mali yung grammar mo, it's for nothing. So, sayang lang. So, start there if you want to improve in all of these things. Start there before you move on to other things. Okay. Now here are some activities that you can do to improve your communication skills, particularly written communication skills. So reading is one of the most effective ways for you to improve your English language skills. It can help you expand your vocabulary and expose you to different sentence structures and writing styles. So you can choose to read educational materials, those that teach you specific grammars or styles or structures. You can also choose to read about a topic that you like or interested about, because in this way, this has the benefit still of the first one, which is to expand your vocabulary, expose you to different styles of writing and structures, all while you are enjoying some wonderful stories. So either you read to learn or you read to entertain, that's fine. It can both help you with your written communication skills. What you can read you can read books, you can read novels, news. Just make sure that it's from a credible source. Baka mabiktima ka ng fake news. So just be careful. Always check the source of the article or the news. Sino ba yung author? Anong date? Perhaps it is the truth, pero kung matagal na, it's outdated, hindi na siya ganun ka-accurate. So, in this time, marami ng misinformation na nagaganap. So, you have to be careful. I remember nung college ako, lagi ako nabibiktima ng mga nag-share na wala daw pasok, pero last year pa pala pinost. So, yun, that's what I'm saying you have to be careful in this age of misinformation. Ang bilis talagang mag-spread ng fake news. Okay? So, I also encourage you to have a dictionary so that when you are reading and you encounter a word that you don't know, you can check it in the dictionary and find out about it. Pwede rin naman, more helpful if you would read yung dictionary mismo. So, try to learn at least mga 2 to 3 words per day and don't just stick with the meaning or definition. Take the extra step of looking it up so that you can know ano ba yung pronunciation niya, ano ba yung use, and how you can use it in a sentence. Okay? These are the things that you can do that will help you improve your written communication skills. If you want to become an excellent writer naman, then you better write as much as you can. So better actually if it's every day. Practice is the way for you to improve, and it's not enough to be exposed and learn about the styles and the structures and have perfect grammar if you don't use them and apply what you have learned. So one of the things that you can do this practice writing is by checking writing prompts. A writing prompt, if you don't know, it is a topic around which you start writing ideas. So there are different types of writing prompts. There are narrative ones, descriptive ones, or persuasive. So depending again kung ano yung importante sa'yo or ano yung priority mo. If you are writing to sell or convince people, then frequently write about that. That is how you improve. And then the second step after this one is often skipped by a lot of people, and even I skip this part as well. But this is very helpful actually. So I encourage you to do this. The next step is for you to, after you write something, to show it to other people so that you can ask for feedback. So you can show it to your mentor if you have one, or if you're still studying, you can show it to your English professor. And you can also, if you're shy, you can also just show it to your friends. But the simplest and fastest way for you to share it to others, it would be to post it online so that you can reach more people and you can receive more feedback about your output. So there are personally I get my writing prompts from Pinterest. There are a lot of writing prompts in Pinterest. Pero if wala kang ganon, you can do a quick Google search rin naman. There's a lot of writing prompts online. So when posting naman, there are several platforms as well that you can share the content that you created. Here are the various examples. But if tinatawad kang gumawa ng maraming accounts, pwede rin naman, i-post mo na lang sa Facebook. Usong-uso na mo mag-status ng mahaba or kahit gano'n ka-short, di ba? You can share anything there. The point is for you to share it to other people so that you have a perspective outside of you. And then you can compile all of these feedbacks, get what is helpful, and of course, don't mind those are not just hateful, di ba? And perhaps, wag ka masyadong kabahan na pag binibigyan ka ng feedback kasi hindi mo alam, mali mo, ipapraise ka pala dun sa output mo. And then nakatulong pa sa'yo yun kasi na-encourage ka lalo or na-motivate ka lalo sa pagsusulat, di ba? So, one way for you to improve is when you have an output, you have to share it to the world so you can ask for feedback. Okay, so let's now proceed to the different activities naman na pwede mong gawin to improve your oral communication skills. So since this involves speaking, instead of just reading in your mind, you can choose to read out loud so that you can hear your voice and practice your pronunciation. This is like hitting two birds in one stone. Ika nga. So reading can be very helpful, as you can see, to improve not just your written communication skills, but also your oral communication skills. If reading is not your style, you can choose naman to watch to learn or watch to entertain. So If your hobby is to watch English movies, that's good. That means you are regularly exposed already to different English words and expressions. So, good quality movies can help you improve your accent, your pronunciation, and your sentence construction. You can also watch documentaries, educational videos, speeches, presentations, and again, depende sa'yo kung what kind of oral communication you are focused or you want to develop. If you have an upcoming interview, you can also watch interview role plays online. And the great thing about today's technology is that you can learn all of these things for free. So as long as you know what websites to access and you have internet connection, take advantage of today's technology. I personally watch a lot of presentations online since I do a lot of presentations as well. So it's kind of how I improve. I usually watch videos twice. First time, I watch it as an audience, so that I just watch it as an audience, as usual or as normal. And then the second time, I watch it as a speaker. So what do I do when I watch it as a speaker? Um, for the second time, I try to analyze how did the speaker structure the presentation. I take note of their body language, their tone, so that I can adapt some of these things that impressed me and incorporate it to my next talk. Okay, so you can do the same thing next time that you are watching a video. Try watching to learn, and then instead of just watching to entertain yourself. Okay, so I personally watch a lot of TED Talks as well. It's available on YouTube and marami rin naliligaw sa Facebook. So, depende sa'yo kung saan mo kukuhanin yung mga videos mo. Um, Good thing that Facebook is free, right? Another activity that has the same benefits of watching, exposing you to different English words and expressions, helping you with your accent and pronunciation, is listening. So, ang added benefit ng listening compared to reading and watching is that you can do this even when you're doing other things, okay, with your eyes or with your hands. So you can do household chores, you can commute, you can, any task that doesn't really require mental energy from you, pwede mong isabay yung activity nito wherein you learn or you listen to learn. So I personally get my podcast from Spotify. Ang maganda dito kasi hindi mo naman kailangan ng premium account to listen to the podcast. You can freely choose and there are a lot of categories. Again, depende sa topic na gusto mo. There are podcasts as well na designed or the purpose is for you to improve your communication skills. So that's the good thing. You can try to listen to podcast if hindi mo pa nagawa before. It's a very helpful way as well to improve your oral communication skills. So kung gusto mo naman, medyo old school, pwede ka rin daw makinig sa radio. So same thing, same effect. Okay. So some more activities that you can do to improve your overall communication skills or verbal communication skills. So you can also download applications and some of the greatest technology are now available to us. Lalo na yung batch ngayon. So let's take advantage of that. As I've said, now you can download a lot of mobile applications designed specifically to help with your communication skills, help developing your communication skills. So you might have heard of this application already, Duolingo. It's actually a free application for learning different languages, including English, pero pwede ka rin mag-Spanish or Chinese, Korean, ganyan. Depende sa'yo. If you find other activities that I've mentioned so far boring, so maybe you can try this step instead. The benefit of this education applications is that it can make learning more fun, especially if you have a gamer or a techie personality. So later, when next time that you are in the App Store or Play Store, you can try to search for education apps like this, or you can try to search the keyword English or communication, and then maraming lalabas na applications that can help you. Most of them are free, so just choose from those several applications and try if this is your style of learning. Okay. What else? So this is not really a step that you can do, but more of an attitude that the step for you is to be resourceful. So you can find a lot of sources and courses online. Most of these sources and courses are free. Some of them are not. So depende kung may budget ka, pwede ka namang mag-invest rin sa ganito. Pero if the good thing about today is you don't really need to pay money, or at least a lot of money, for you to improve your communication skills. There are a lot of ways for you to get there if you are just resourceful. Okay. Now, when you go online later, I know that there are a lot of tips and tricks and activities that you can try to improve your communication skills. I did not include all of them because I don't think that you need all of them. From what I discussed as well in the past few minutes, I'm not expecting you to follow everything at once because I think, or I believe, in improving your communication skills, it's not about doing many things. It's about doing one or few important things many times. So that is how you truly improve at something. The key is practice, just like anything else in life. So this is the cycle that you have to go through. You learn something, whether you're reading or by watching or by listening, the steps or activities that I've mentioned earlier. And then you can apply what you have learned by practicing and practicing and practicing. Kahit ilang beses pa yan, the more time you do it, the more you improve. And then you listen to feedback and start the cycle again. Okay? So this is the cycle that you have to follow if you want to continuously improve your communication skills starting from now. Okay? I also want to just say that have patience in your progress. Kasi, as I've said, it's not that easy for you to switch from Tagalog to English, especially if you don't have the great foundation that other people have. So it's fine. Be patient with yourself and be patient with your progress, and just continue learning, practicing, and asking for feedback until you get from the type of communication skill that you want. Okay. My aside from all of that, my final advice is that did you know that around 77% of the population have fear of public speaking? This fear is also known as glossophobia, and this can manifest or range from simple nervousness or paralyzing fear and panic. So, why did I share this? Most of the time, the reason that you have poor communication skills is because of this fear or anxiety that stops you from communicating. So just think to yourself, how many times did you have a question that you did not ask because you were shy or anxious to communicate? Or instead of a question, perhaps you had the answer but you didn't say it, so somebody else took the credit. So you can have all of the greatest ideas in your head, and no one will ever know them until you can speak up. So this hesitation, I want you to realize that this hesitation or fear to communicate is perhaps the thing that prevents you most from achieving a lot of great things or even achieving a great career. So if you let it, this will prevent you to achieving all of that. So my final advice is that you control your fear before it controls you. I know that the fear will never go away, but try to participate still anyway. Do it. Raise your hand. Participate in that presentation. Participate in that report, even though that it scares you, because putting yourself in situations like that will be the only way that you can improve. Because those are, instead of challenges, you have to look at them as opportunities for you to improve. Okay, so that is my final advice. Aside from all of that, you have to control your fear before it controls you. So that is all of the tips that I have for you today in enhancing your communication skills. I hope that you learned something from me and that can help you improve in your education or your career. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jane. Well,
Thank
I
you,
hope
Sir Robert.
yung ating viewers would have found yung presentation relatable kasi ako, nakarelate ako, especially dun sa last part about not speaking up as dahil alam mo yung sagot pero naunahan ka tuloy so hindi ka able enough to show that alam mo yung sagot ng mga tinatanong or even your statement about not being able to ask the right questions. So yeah, I found that relatable. Ako mismo, share ko na rin sa ating viewers na that used to be a problem of mine. I actually had a lot of questions. Tapos umaasa lang ako na may mga magtatanong. Yeah. So, dahil nga, now we are now talking about questions. Segue ko na to our Q&A. So, there. I have here a question for you regarding sa communication problems. Ano yung most common communication problem faced at work?
Actually, I think kung ano yung common ngayon, especially sa situation, because we have shifted from face-to-face to virtual. So I think, not a lot of people are very techy. Sometimes that affects the communication and the way we communicate to other people, whether it's our office mates or our classmates. So there are a lot of mayroon nga ako na-encounter na word ngayon netiquette. So it's about internet etiquette na kailangan dati eager lang natin, hipster lang. So ngayon, everyone is forced to know these kinds of things kasi we are depending on virtual communication mainly na. So I would say that the shift from virtual has been a most common challenge ngayon, especially ngayon.
Yes, so actually itong shift nga to virtual, una-una pwede maging literal na communication problem kasi nawawala ang connection kaya hindi makapag-communicate.
True, I
And
know,
also,
right?
hindi tayong dalawa doon, Miss Jane. So also, well, to our viewers, kasi nga, iba yung dynamic kapag face-to-face versus online. And anong masasabi mo naman about that, Miss Jane? Sa mahirap i-practice yun na how you could participate sa online na class, online na discussion. How would you say yung pwedeng best na gawin ng ating viewers? By the way, Ms. Jane, ang ating viewers ay ranging from second year to fourth year. So yung ating advice, pwede rin, I think, ma-apply sa school din. I'm sure pati naman itong communication practice pwede sa school. Itong question ko about online school, yung iba kasi, well, usual practice yung face-to-face, like in front of the mirror, yan yung ating usual advice. Ano tayo magpa-practice when it comes to virtual na usapan na as a group?
Okay. Paano yung paano tayo mag-improve ng communication skills? Virtually or remotely?
Yes.
I can think of two things actually. The first one is if you want to improve, one way that you can improve your communication skills, like remotely, if you don't have anyone with you at home, is that by following or finding a good role model. So finding a great role model, for example, for me, as I've mentioned, I like watching TED Talks. So the
Hello,
top
Miss Jane?
the most is Sir Abrahams. I think he is a professor at Stanford. So he is a communication professor in Stanford. And then after I was impressed by one of his TED Talks, I tried following him in different platforms like on YouTube and also in podcasts. So lahat ng mga tinuturo niya, marami akong natutunan. So I think if you want to learn another tip na dagdag na rin sa mga sinabi ko kanina, another tip that you can do if you want to improve your communication skills remotely is that you can try to follow someone and find a great role model and try to, learn from home virtually.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Sir Robert?
Yes, yes, of course. My answer. Well, it's always good nga to have a role model kapag nga confused tayo on what's the next step. Oftentimes kapag may role model, nag-guide tayo. We have here another question. This one's actually from Miss Ruth. If you were here earlier, yung nagbigay ng ating remarks. So the question here is, I often hear others say, in order to speak English, do not think in Filipino, but think in English. What can you say about this? Yeah. So you can see sa screen yung question, Miss Ruth.
I think this is kind of similar to my point earlier. Yun nga, na iba yung grammar rules kasi ng Tagalog sa English. Yung example ko kanina na sa atin, kapag gusto natin gawing plural yung isang bagay or isang word, kailangan lang natin maglagay ng mga. Hindi natin kailangan i-change yung spelling or anything else, right? In English, iba yung grammar rules. You have to change the spelling by adding S, ES, IES, and then iba pa minsan yung letters. So I think I agree with Ms. Ruth here that if you really want to focus or if you really want to improve your English communication skills, even your thinking, you have to make it overall English, in English. Kasi the different rules that the rules that apply to Tagalog is different from English.
So, yes nga, as mentioned kanina, pati examples nyo about yung pagiging plural, mahirap kasi na you start thinking tapos translate mo pa, naisip mo na translate mo pa, bago mo pa sasabihin. So, by that time, sinasabi mo na litong-lito ka doon sa gusto sabihin. So, yes, Ms. Ruth, I think you brought up a good point about thinking first and how best to say it, thinking about it, yan, face natin when it comes to having effective communication skills. Sige. So, Ms. Jane, I think that's it for our Q&A. And thank you again for joining us. Always nice to have you with us. Hopefully, we can have you again baka to give another talk or sa panel discussion that we would have later on. To our viewers, to get to know more about Cognizant, go to jobs180.com/cognizantph. Don't forget the PH, nandiyan siya, makikita niyo sa ilalim ng screen. So, thank you again, Ms. Jane. See you soon.
Thank you, team. Thank you, Sir Robert.
Okay, thank you. And thank you sa ating viewers. We are again monitoring yung inyong comments. Kaya nga na-mention ko kay Ms. Jane na ang ating viewers ranging from second year to graduating, which is why yung ating comments and questions pwede rin mabagay din to all this year level. So thank you. It shows kung bakit important makita namin ang inyong background. And with that, before we continue, we would like to show a short clip. This would show more about Jobs 180, what we do. And yes, please watch the following, and then we will continue the session after the video.
There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Okay, so that was Johnson Weekly's resume link. So it's a link for your resume. It will take you to your resume, personalized link, and then it has different features that you could explore. And as you saw in the video, and I think we would like to highlight that it will help you stand out, and then the security features would help you in making your resume secure and the information that goes along with it. Okay, so let's move on to our second topic. Our second topic is about interview tips for those na hindi pa graduate. I see here that meron second year students. And well, yung pag-uusapan dito does not necessarily mean specific sa job interviews lang. You can still get few points from here. So please listen and participate in the comment section. Okay, so our presenter, Mr. Vonn Davis, Vonn David is a licensed chartered professional in human resources with 15 years experience in the HR industry. He is currently leading the HR division of LNP International Group Philippines, Incorporated, a senior human resources manager. I would like to welcome Mr. Vonn Angelie David, senior human resource manager of the WinFi. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Robert, and good afternoon to the viewers for this afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Well, I'm monitoring yung ating viewers, and as mentioned, they come from different year levels and different courses. So, I have here, actually, I was not able to monitor. Marami na, very diverse ang ating audience, and I'm sure we are all looking forward sa inyong presentation. So, start po natin by checking yung inyong screen share. It's loading right now, and it's here na. Full screen, clear, video is clear, audio is clear, and I will be heading backstage. You could start as soon as wala na ka sa screen. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Robert. Okay, so good afternoon to everyone, and thank you for taking time to embark yourself into another area for improvement. Particularly, I understand and was told that we have a varied mix of viewers for this afternoon. So I'm tasked to be sharing some inputs on how to ace a particular job interview. Okay lang ba? I-engage ko lang quick yung viewers natin. Although yung iba nagpapa-attendance. Pa-type naman na fresh if you are a fresh graduate or mai-interview pa lang. Paki-type na jumper if you are in between jobs or lilipat ka or nagbabala kang lumipat ng trabaho. And kung professional ka na and you're just interested to view and see what's new in terms of interview, pa-type mo Avenger. So tatlo yun. It's fresh if you're a fresh grad or student ka pa lang na mag-graduate in the next 2-3 years or this year or next year, pa-type lang para habang nagdi-discuss ako, makita ko lang yung profile. Jumper if meron ka ng work at gusto mong lumipat in the near future, maybe after the pandemic, or pangatlo, Avenger kapag professional ka na at nakikinig ka lang ngayon sa FB feed natin. Okay, so why did I put the title Creative Proposal? I want the discussion to be very fluid and relaxed. Basically because natiterrorize ang mga tao usually during a job interview. And as an HR practitioner, I want sana na hindi ganoon. Being in an interview is about bringing your business case for someone to approve. So If you will be coming into a business proposal na kabado ka, hindi ka prepared, or you're full of negative emotions, how do you expect na ma-approve siya nung interviewer mo? So, let's start with the hello. And as it with any business transaction, everything starts with a proper greeting. So, hello and thank you. Thank you for investing time for this subject matter. I see quite an array, no? Nagulat ako, may Avenger dito. So, at least ma-contextualize ko yung discussion natin. But mostly, we have fresh categories of people. In the next 20 minutes that was given to me, I will be tasked to bring the audience to the minds of the interviewers. Try lang naman natin na pumasok sa isip ng isang interviewer because this would give you a better perspective on how to prepare, how to present yourself, and eventually how to close that business deal of getting a job. Tatlong agenda lang po tayo. We'll start with the mind setting, what you need to know, and then we'll focus on you. Siyempre, ikaw yung haharap, ikaw yung business case, ikaw yung business proposition. So we will answer the question, how will you sell yourself? And then, tatouch lang natin ng konti yung basics of interviewing. Ano yung mga tinatawag nating non-negotiable, meaning kahit anong mangyari, dapat these are the things that are expected of you as an interviewee. And then siguro, i-contextualize din natin under the premise of the pandemic, ano yung mga new normal also that are being practiced in the arena of recruitment or talent matching na baka makatulong sa inyo in the next few months or maybe next year when everything else gets a little better. I say we begin with the end in mind. For those who are avid readers, this is actually a borrowed principle from Stephen Covey. Basically, ang premise lang niya is if you want to achieve something, always think of the end. Ano yung result na gusto mong ma-achieve? So, 3 things yung gusto ko lang i-share with the people. Before coming to an interview, you need to be able to have a clear picture. Ano yung goal na gusto mong mangyari? You also need to put yourself on the shoe of the interviewer and maybe answer the question, anong mahihita nung magi-interview sa akin? What will my interviewer get from me by talking to me, spending time with me? And then, of course, another end in mind, how do you picture yourself? Na interview na, you're seated there already, you're coming into the door of the office na magi-interview sa'yo. So these 3 things. Other than landing the job, syempre, what else do you want to accomplish? You will be surprised that usually, sasabihin lang naman, mapapa-interview ako kasi gusto ko magkatrabaho, gusto kong mag-provide sa family, gusto ko ng stepping stone for a higher career. But they have so many things, and the key is how will you be able to communicate it to your interviewer. Very important mindset coming into an interview is pantay lang tayo. Kahit pa sabihin natin na parang hindi, sila yung mag-hire sa akin eh. So, they have the upper hand. Baliktad or usually mali yun kasi kahit kami na nag-i-interview sa inyo, we're also trying to create a good impression of the company. Kahit pa fresh grad ka, the mere fact na nag-schedule kami sa'yo ng interview would mean that we see potential, we see a future, we see a probable match. So, para ma-achieve namin na ma-hire ka, i-represent din namin properly yung sarili namin. Believe it or not, kabado rin kami yung mga nag-i-interview pag may papasok sa door. Kasi may goal din kami, may numbers din kami to hit, meron din kaming vacancies to fill in. So, it's very important na para mabawasan ng konti yung kaba, isipin mo lang pantay. Businessmen talking to each other, may business proposition ka, may business proposition sila, gusto mo ma-seal yung deal. For those who were here earlier, nakinig ako dun sa first speaker natin, kamukha ko pala siyang iska siya. So, meron siyang binanggit na normal ang kabahan at tamang kabahan. Dagdagan ko lang siguro yung comment ni ma'am earlier. Tamang kabahan kasi when you're nervous, you're alert. So you are aware of the things, you're more attentive to the interaction that you're having with your interviewer. Ano nga ba yung usual goals? Nag-sum up lang ako ng 3 in anticipation of probable attendees or viewers ng afternoon natin. So basically, I group them into three. The first group, I call them those who want to start anew. This does not necessarily mean na ito ba yung fresh, ito ba yung jumper. It can be both. Or actually, pwedeng Avenger ka rin. Ano yung sabihin ng start anew? I can be pertaining to, say, for example, in the university, kilala ka na tahimik. Pero sa totoong buhay naman, jolly person ka and you want to repackage yourself. So maybe this is an opportunity for you. This interview is an opportunity for you to start anew. Na ipakilala kung sino talaga si Vonn, sino talaga si Maria. Kasi kilala ka na tahimik pero in reality, you can do more. Hindi ka lang siguro nabigyan ng opportunity. Or, say for example, you've always been good in graphics. Kaso ang course mo is so off with graphics. Parang, ba't ka nag-graphics? It's a waste of time actually sa course mo sa ngayon. But going to an interview, going to a job hunting can be an opportunity to you to start anew. Na yes, nurse ako, pero nurse ako na magaling sa app development, something of that sort. For some people, the second one, they view an opportunity for a new job as an area for growth. Maybe you've been stagnating dun sa current job mo. So I'm talking to the jumpers. Wala pa ako nakikitang jumper sa comment section natin. But maybe you've been with your job for 2 to 3 years and you don't see yourself na fit ka sa position or hindi ka nakakita ng connection sa culture ng company, then your next job interview may be an opportunity for you for growth. The third one, dito mix na to ng jumper and Avengers kung meron, is a new career. Jumpstart talaga. Ano ka ngayon, nurse ka, pero dahil sa kaka-TikTok mo, na-realize mo, dancer ka talaga, so shift to becoming a dancer. So I'm referring to those moments na you get to realize na maybe a hobby now is actually a profession in the future. So for some people who are going to interviews, going job huntings, it's an opportunity for them to 360 degrees shift their career, their life, and their profession even. So what's in it for the interviewer? Earlier, I mentioned that it's also important that you put yourself in the shoe of the interviewer. Anong mahihita ng interviewer by talking to you, by spending a few minutes with you? While I've been in the industry for about 15 years, hindi ko makakalimutan yung interview ko. Pangalawang interview ko siya after the university. Nag-spend lang yung interviewer sa akin ng less than 5 minutes. Tinanong lang niya sa akin, kung may backpack ka going to work, anong laman ng backpack? Give me 3 things. Sinagot ko siya. Tapos after nun, sabi niya, okay, thank you. We'll call you again. Hindi ko nakuha yung job. So, nag-gets niyo yun? Yun yung inspiration ko for this part. It dawned to me na, nga no, how am I going to make the time ng interviewer ko worth it? So I say, you need to convince them that they need to make business with you, that you can bring the business to them. Create a different vision of you. Anong ibig sabihin nito? This does not mean naman na you will present yourself as someone na hindi ikaw. Baliktad. You should be able to present yourself the most genuine possible you, the most competitive of you, and at the same time also reflect the potential. Yung next slide, I find it very interesting kasi sometimes age should not limit also the way you will be presenting yourself. Maraming fresh grads dito and ang isa sa mga kalaban ng fresh grads is you look so fresh that you look so naive. Na you look na parang, hala, mag-i-invest pa kami ng oras dito, tuturuan pa to, etc. I'm not saying naman that you need to present yourself like you're already mature when you're not yet. But I think what I'm trying to say is, when I say create a different vision of you, create a vision that you think na kakailanganin ng business, kakailanganin ng company na gusto mong puntahan. Nakikita mo, lahat sila very corporate. You can still be corporate kasi you need to blend din sa grupo na papasukan mo. But you also need to say, then come in a different color. If everyone else is in gray, go to the interview na bright color kasi you're that person, you're that jolly person. So do not lose yourself din naman because of your wanting to come in and join an organization. Ang payo ko nga lagi kapag nagtatalk sa mga ganitong topic, your definition of awesome works. So in terms of your branding, the way you package yourself, dapat advantageous para sa'yo. Kasi kaya mong i-package, i-repackage siya. So I'm very sorry ha kung merong mga tao naman na ayaw masyadong nagpapa-interview. Baliktad po. I suggest, pa-interview ka ng pa-interview. Whether gusto mo yung company or hindi, pa-interview ka. It's not about wasting yung time mo, time nila. You learn kasi through the process. Believe it or not, kahit na ako ngayon is nasa position ko na to and I'm not intending to transfer naman company, but I still undergo interviews just for the sake of seeing paano nga ba ngayon sa interview or how am I presenting myself also with other people. So as a quick guide, meron akong pinresent ditong tatlo na posibleng makatulong sa inyo regardless if you're fresh, if you're a jumper, or yung tinatawag natin kanina na Avenger or a solid professional na. Let me talk first to the millennials. The problem now with millennials is, well, one, ang dami nyong batch nag-graduate lagi. Madalang lang yung course na konti kayo or kung konti man kayo, madami pa rin siya kasi ang dami niyang batch ninyo lagi. So anong ibig kong sabihin? Why not try, experiment, and explore presenting yourself as what I say, the go-getter millennial? Ano to? Ito yung, ano yung unique sa'yo? Sa dinami-dami ng batch ng gagraduate, I see here merong mga BSN dito kanina, BSBA. So, kung makasabay mo say yung 5 mo pang batchmates ngayon sa same interview, anong edge mo? Kung wala kang immediate na sagot sa tanong na yon, then maybe itong mga natitirang days, weeks, months, bago kayo sumalang sa interview or job hunting, find that unique quality, unique skill, or unique capability or competency na meron ka na mag-separate sa'yo. Kasi whether you like it or not, makakasabay mo sila eh. Pinag-uusapan pa lang natin dito yung school ninyo ha. We're still not talking about, say, may nakasabay ka from the popular universities. Doon sa mga mas kilalang universities. Paano? Paano ka sasabay sa kanila? Paano pag may nakasabay ka pang may work experience na? Newbie ka. So have that answer. What makes you unique? Nilagay ko nga dito from the 1 million or the gazillion people out there. If you have an answer naman this time, then good. I'll just share my experience. Ako, I'm a psych graduate. So nung time ko, medyo matagal-tagal na rin po iyon, hindi pa sikat ang Photoshop. Nagpakadalubhasa ako doon for some reason. Siguro dahil nasa publication ako or sa fraternity namin, walang nag-graphics. So kinarir ko yung graphics na yun. So what I did coming out of the university nung nag-a-apply ako is yun yung advantage ko. Kasi fresh grad, 0. So I said, yes, I'm a graduate ng ganitong university. Gusto ko mag-board license din during that time for psychology. But magtatrabaho muna ako at kaya ko pong mag-Photoshop. So, yun, that landed me my first job kasi yun yung requirement nila. Because not many of the people in my batch can do Photoshop during that time. Let me talk to the jumpers naman or yung mga gustong lumipat ng trabaho or yung mga matagal nang nasa trabaho. Ang branding na option for us is, do you want to present yourself as a flexible professional? Anong ibig nating sabihin? What's the common Waterloo or yung weakness ng mga people na nasa field natin? Mga cliche. Sabi nila, psych people hate math. So, can you be that better person who's very adept with Excel and formulas? Sabi nila, kapag mga engineers, since they're so much into logic and numbers, medyo nahihirapan sila sa communication skill. So, can you be that engineer who's fluent, who's able to really present themselves well during meetings at the boardroom? Ano yung weakness na nakakabit usually sa course ninyo? And can you transcend that? Can you go beyond that and present yourself well na, hey, I have activities. May mga second year dito, sabi kanina nung host natin. So, second year ka ngayon, ano bang mga activities, extracurricular activities ang kailangang nila-line up mo na para kapag sa resume mo, graduate siya ng ganitong course pero ito yung mga nasalihan niyang activities. you can transcend beyond the usual limitations ng course mo, or at least professionals of your field. Or if you're confident enough, are you what we call the new blood shaker? You're just beaming with projects na meron ka in the past that you think will be useful sa um, group mo. But in order for you to do this, you should be familiar with yung company na lilipatan mo. So likely mangyayari to kapag competitor siya, or say an industry that you're so familiar with na alam mong walang ganito, but you'll be able to bring in given the credentials, given the expertise or the things that you studied with. So paano mo i-represent yung sarili mo, yung best mo? Sige, napili mo na. Doon ako sa go-getter millennial po. So how do I present myself properly? Ang suggestion ko dito is one of the many important ways, lalo na ngayon, lalo na because of the pandemic, is being your best regardless where they see you. And that includes your presence in social media. So I'm not sure with how much from the people here have accounts dito sa mga logos na nandito, pero say for example, mabilisan, mag-checkan tayo lahat ng profiles. Anong makikita natin sa mga profiles ng isa't isa? Are your profiles filled with information that you can be proud of, or medyo may mga oops, parang dapat wala po ito dapat i-hide po ata to because you need to. I mean, hindi naman dahil nagpapaka-plastic ka or what, but of course, we're trying to look also, or companies also trying to look for individuals who have good character, and more often than not, they can be seen in social media. Ngayong pandemic, ang daming TikTok, di ba? Ang daming TikTok na profiles. Ang dami ring mga nagsi-streaming ngayon, whether it's in Bigo, in Kumu, umuulan ng feed ngayon sa Twitter because everyone else has their opinion to come in. So what type of image are you presenting yourself sa social media? They matter now. Believe me, as a recruiter, nagmamatter siya. Minsan nga kapag nagko-compare tayo ng dalawang applicant na equal footing, tignan nga natin ang social media. Let's see how they present themselves. Let's see their views. Let's see how they communicate. Let's see what they believe in. Kasi you can always say, my family is my priority. Pero pag wala namang makikita sa social media that relate to your family, medyo red flag yon. Not necessarily ikakatanggal mo or mawawalan ka ng opportunity, but a red flag that will make people think twice of what you're saying. Consistency is key. What your CV says should align with how you talk during the interview, how you present yourself during, say, a Zoom interview or a Skype interview, and as mentioned earlier, the way you present yourself also with social media. Here are some of the basics po that matter. Ito yung binanggit ko kanina na non-negotiable, very important, classic, traditional, but are still gold, sabi nga nila. First and foremost, pa-research naman po yung balak mong applyan na trabaho. Don't come into an interview na wala kang idea about the company. Lalo na ngayon with the advent of technology, most of the companies even have their own social media pages that you need to browse para makita mo naman, maka-align ka properly also. It's not about the pride of the company. It's more para sa'yo na sasalang for the interview. You need to be able to know where you align, commonalities, and maybe areas that you can highlight or even shine. Know your interviewer. This is a trick actually that we usually deploy. Majority of the people now or the companies now have their own recruitment sites. And matatali mo siya kung magaling ka lang konti na mag-connect the dots, you can see people connected there. Makikita mo, ito yung, mabubuo mo yung recruitment team nila actually, just by looking at their profile. So maybe you can see the commonalities of people there, things that they join with, mga activities ng companies. And maybe these are the things that can be worthwhile also kasi matutulungan mo yung interviewer mo to see the alignment, to see where you're common, to see also the things that they have now in the company that you will enjoy. Things that you can also bring in. Kasi nakita mo parang, yeah, I saw you're doing outreach. I saw you're into sustainability, company B. I also have an experience with sustainability and here are some of the project portfolios that I have. Or ito yung mga activities namin from the university that relate to, say, environment conservation. And I see that in your company, environmental stewardship is a big thing. So, ma-align mo na yung sarili mo. please review the resume. I'm still surprised na sa ngayon marami pa rin nagugulat ako hindi updated yung resume. Nakita natin kanina yung first speaker, no, very important yung grammar. Your command of English also. While we're in the Philippines, of course, currently ang pinaka-professional way pa rin to present yourself in CVs and resume is using the English language. So I think it's but polite and it's but necessary na i-review natin properly yung CV and resume natin. And during this time of the pandemic, may mga game changers tayo. Hindi ko alam if you see it as a positive or negative, but I see it as a positive because people now are more creative. They are challenged to be resourceful in how they present themselves and how to be able to ace an interview kahit na walang face-to-face interaction. Totoo po yun. May mga na-hire na ngayon nang hindi nagkikita pa yung interviewer sa interviewee niya. So, meron po mga iba't ibang interview options now. So, kung may mga apps kayo na familiar kayo, yes, these are very important now. If you don't have still itong mga nasa screen natin, the Zoom, Skype, MS Teams, there are a lot of things pa na available there. Make sure you're familiar with them, and I think it's a plus also na makita ng interviewer mo na hindi ka nangangapa sa mga ganitong applications. Check your technology, please. When I say this, check your hardware, check your laptop, do test calls, check your connection and internet speed. While hindi naman natin pwedeng sisihin yung interviewee din kapag mahina yung internet connection niya, but I guess it has clear points kapag nag-garbled ka or naglalag. It gets irritating at a certain point, but it can be a demerit. I'm saying, be on time. Yes, virtual na tayo ngayon. So all the more I think that you should be on time. Being on the dot is still late. Ganun yung tinuro sa akin din ng mentor ko before. So say for example, ang interview mo is 3, pag nag-login ka ng 3, late ka na. Kasi dapat earlier ka actually. Anong ibig sabihin ng 60-second rule? 60 seconds is very important because the first 60 seconds na nakita ka nung nag-i-interview sa'yo creates so much impression already. So kung kung yung energy mo good for 30 minutes lang, ilagay mo lahat ng energy mo sa first few minutes mo. Kasi you need to be able to present yourself and create that good impression also. Be concise but meaningful. Ang napansin ko lang ngayon sa mga virtual interviews, parang isipin mo dapat, may oras siya. Pero hindi po mas mas binibilisan. So if you can answer as concise but as meaningful as possible, better yan. Be dynamic. Ang isa sa mga limitations ng walang face-to-face interaction now is very robotic lahat. Very transactional lahat. So as much as possible, do hand gestures, change the tone of your voice, play and look and be familiarized with your facial expressions also. Yung mata mo can communicate so much about what you're trying to convey. Check mo din. Kinabahan ako bigla nung nakita ko yung last bullet. Speak on a normal pace. I'm not sure kung mabilis po ba akong magsalita ngayon kasi kinakabahan din talaga ako, but it's very important that you practice parang sa the voice yung the way na bumabagsak ang kada words sa'yo. Kailangan as clear as possible. Dress well. Hindi po excuse na pandemic ngayon, na virtual tayo, na I'm just in a camera, that I should not be able to dress well and wear something interview appropriate or professionally acceptable. Pwede namang naka-shorts ka talaga sa baba na nangyayari yon, but of course, you should be able to present yourself well. Ako dati nagbiro ako sa interview ko pinatayo ko siya. Can you stand? I just can't see you. Tapos nagsabi siya, sir, sorry, naka-shorts lang ako. So, I mean, di ba, you should be able to be prepared pa rin naman. It communicates so many things. 1, you prepared for it. 2, you value the person that you're talking to. And 3, you want to be treated also as professional and as serious as possible. Ito yung kanina. Okay, I think this is my last slide. I started with a hello. So let's end with a hi. Every interview interaction is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for the interviewer, yes, but most importantly, it is an opportunity for you. honestly, as interviewers, ayaw namin na may napapahiya din na kaharap namin na interviewer. Interviewee. As mentioned, may agenda rin kami. And we want to close that deal with you in as much as you want also to close the deal with us. But then again, it takes preparation. Your goal should be clear with you and consistent with how you want to present also your business case with kung sino man yung nasa harapan mo. So I think that's it for my part. I'm very much open to have Q&A with the group.
Thank you, Sir Vonn. Thank you actually for stating yung importance ng standing out during the interview, especially going against yung may experience nga for our fresh grads. It's actually something na parating ina-highlight din ng Jobs 180. So, thank you for that. I have here a few questions. Number one, in interviews, usually they ask yung applicant to introduce themselves. I think it's pretty common, but I see that some are still struggling with it. What's the best way for them to introduce themselves when asked?
Okay. First of all, please go away with what's already written in your CV. Kasi ang usual default is they will repeat what's written there. Nire-review naman ng mga interviewers yung CV mo, whether mabilisan or hindi. So, what you can do is start with things that are not written there that you strongly believe in. Start with aspirations. Alam ko, medyo Miss Universe yun, pero start with principles. Where do you usually anchor your principles, your decision-making? Tell some exciting things that you've done very recently, your hobbies, things that define you as a person na makakakuha ng inputs yung interviewer mo, who you are, what interests you have, and it maybe even highlight some strengths na meron ka. Not telling them directly the strength, but using your experiences or the things that you like doing to show what you are strong sa strong suit mo.
Okay, so that's a good point, sir. Ako kasi, well, share ko lang, I was a previous HR employee then, HR specialist, and yung sinasabi mo about stating things na nasa CV, especially yung parang my name is ganito, I came from this school, my course is ganito, I live in ganyan. Yung standard na gano'n to our viewers, it does not tell much about you. Again, we want you to stand out. And yun nga, maganda yung mga points ni Sir Vonn, stating more, showing more about you. Like yung principles, I guess yung principles dapat pareha sa company na in-applyan nyo. So we will research about that as well. So, Sir Vonn, sa interviews, anong common na mistake na ginagawa ng those that are not comfortable? Makikita mo talagang kabado, hindi comfortable. And ano yung usual na mistake na nagagawa nila when coming in like that?
Okay, sige. Hindi ko na lang siya nilagay sa slide because it's very parang mababasa niyo naman yan, and I hope you also still read around kung ano yung mga information about interview. One is yung hindi nag-greet. Hindi gine-greet yung interview, nag-i-interview sa'yo. Second maybe is not eagerly asking. Kahit na ni-rehearse mo siya, I hope you come into an interview na may question. Kasi it will also show that you're interested really doon sa job din. And you put thought also during the conversation. Kasi usually, di ba, pag interview ka, ang mindset mo lang masagot yung tanong. Pero I think it's very important also that during the actual discussion, na nakikinig ka talaga, and kapag nakapagtanong ka ng question, would show also na you're attentive to the interaction. Third is, yung question na natanggap po ba ako? Agad-agad. Hindi ko alam kung ako lang din yon, but usually naman sinasagot yon sa'yo or sasabihan ka ng next steps after the actual question and answer portion ng interview. But I just find it a little weird when, regardless kahit anong stage pa ng interview, so natanggap po ba ako? Yung mga ganaan.
Hello, Sir Vonn, I'm not sure if really yung voice ko kasi mukhang nag-hami yung video ko. Hello, sir?
Yes, narinig ko yung voice mo.
Okay, so nakahang na ako sa screen nyo? Sa screen ko kasi hindi ako gumagalaw.
Yeah, parang nakahang ka sa screen. Yeah.
Okay, so kahit nakahang ako, tuloy pa rin tayo. Saka ko na problema ng video because we have here a question. I want to flash this screen. We have a question from Fernando Caday. Good afternoon po. I'm Fernando Caday from ASN2. What can you advise for those who struggle with mental block during presentations or interview? Any tips, techniques you can share? Thank you po. So about mental block.
I see. Well, this is something na natutunan ko hindi na sa HR profession but more on the platform speaking. First, wag kayong mahihiya na mag-pause. We call it the pregnant pause. So siguro in the middle of a talk, see for example what I'm doing now, what I'm trying to tell everyone is okay lang mag-pause pero in reality nag-iisip ka. Huwag kayong mahihiya sa ganoon. You can also say to your interviewer like this is that's an interesting question. This is something that I have not really thought of. Tapos pause. Tapos mag-isip ka na mabilis. Pero syempre, ano yun, yung when I say pregnant pause, hindi naman yun yung sobrang tagal na mag-iisip ka. And then, kapag talaga hindi alam ang sagot, you can tell your interviewer na, well, I'm caught surprised by that question. I cannot think of a quick answer now. Do you mind that we get back to it after a series of questions while I think of an answer? Although, wag din naman nating i-sugarcoat ha. Pag tinanong ka, ang ina-expect pa rin naman, syempre, masagot mo. Pero, I think honesty will be given points naman, lalo na kung wala ka ding masagot. Talaga ha, na direct na answer. Maging honest ka na lang din. Wag mo kalimutan din yun. But more often than not naman during interviews, the things that are being asked are related to you. So, while hindi mo ma-elaborate, I think you can give in naman some information.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Vonn. And to our viewers, actually, what you mentioned about yung pag-pause, minsan kasi when we stop talking na parang kinakabahan tayo na I need to say something right now. And it's actually issue din ako when I'm hosting this, parang I have to remind myself as well that it's okay to pause, gather my thoughts and all. So that's good advice. I hope our viewers were able to get it. I want to flash another question. This one from Miss Ruth again. What can you say about applicants asking about salary?
Okay. Dapat walang problem doon. But I understand that there are some recruiters who have like pet peeve nila yon. I think it's coming on from the perspective na, say for example, you're a fresh grad, it may be more, hindi naman inappropriate pero hindi ina-expect na magtanong ng salary early on kapag fresher grad ka. But I think if I may, no, kunyari ako, kahit kapag nagpa-practice interview din ako, nagpapanggap ako, nag-a-apply ng job, what I usually ask my interviewer is, kasi total professional naman, professional siya, professional ako, I ask them, at what stage during the interview would the salary be negotiated or discussed? And then sasabihin naman niya, oh, this is not that interview, it will be the interview after mine. Or minsan naman sasabihin nila, yeah, of course you can. If this is something that you find important, then you can discuss it now with me. So I think it can be addressed that way para maiwasan yung awkwardness natin in discussing with salary. But again, payo din, usually din naman when you do your research, meron kang idea dapat magkano yung range ng pinapasukan mo. I think a range should be enough para alam mo kung itutuloy mo yung interview or hindi eh. And dun sa dulo, pag final interview na, then dun talaga i-discuss na yon. But if you think it's premature, baka gusto nyong itry po yung sinuggest ko lang naman na politely ask if what stage during the interview would salary be discussed. Kasi kamo, this is something that's important to you, but you would not mind if this is not that stage.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Vonn. Actually, itong question I thought of it while listening to your previous answer and then while considering yung first question. What about naman if yung interviewer yung nagsabi, what is your expected salary dun sa applicant? Because I've encountered that before when I was applying and nahihirapan ako sagutin. I don't want to give high value. Baka sabihin na expecting too much, ayaw naman too low, baka magka-issue with equal pay with workers. I don't know. Basta may mga ganun na iisip, what can you say kapag ang interviewer ang nagtanong ng salary expectations nila?
Oh, okay. That's a good follow-up question to the earlier question. So, How I usually handle that kung ako yung nasa lugar nung nagpapa-interview is one, kung perspective natin ha, para makarelate yung audience natin. Kung fresh grad ka, tinanong ka, I think it would be nice that you acknowledge that you're coming in as a fresh graduate, no to less experience. But as far as your research has brought you, you're aware that market rate is currently ganito. As far as also the research that you've had with their company, the range should be like this. And then you are willing within that range, but you can negotiate with them if necessary. Kung fresh grad ka ha, maybe that's a more professional way of packaging it. Now, if you may work ka naman na or matagal ka na sa work, you can tell them, I think, and expected ito, na one, you're currently getting or you previously are getting this much. And normally, any professional would want to look for something higher than that. Or, I've also experienced some interviews na very good yung interaction. Ang sinabi nila, this is what I'm getting now. There's a certain change in the setup in my family. Or say, for example, I would need to relocate to your organization. So maybe I would need this much amount considering only relocation or cost of living. So, bakit ganun ko siya sinasagot or prefer na marinig sa isang interviewee? Kasi ibig sabihin nun, pinag-isipan niya. Realistic siya. Ginawa niya yung math niya, yung numbers niya, and whatever it is na mangyayari sa negotiation is something na hindi yung naisip lang niya. Na, feeling ko 40,000 ako, 50,000 ako. Pero bakit? By telling the interviewer na you're asking for this because of a premise, because of a reference, can make it more professional and baka hindi siya mag-come across na mayabang.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Vonn, for answering the question, pati follow-up question ko. I think this is it for our Q&A. To learn more about Sir Vonn's company, you could look at yung screen nyo sa ilalim, jobs180.com/lurentayph. Don't forget the PH. To, again, learn more about the company, see yung background, and if ever, yung kanilang job openings. So, thank you, Sir Vonn. We hope to have you again soon. And see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Sir Vonn. And then, kanina na-mention niya about standing out. And I think it's one main feature then that you would get from yung resume link na we showed the video kanina. We would just like to add more info about it, how you could use it para nga sa inyo to help you stand out. Okay, so here is a short clip.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com and click Register now. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and is easy to recall by potential employers, and fill out the other information needed.
Register, go to your email address and validate your jobs180.com account to activate.
Step 2. Complete your resume link. When creating your resume link, make sure to complete your personal and contact information, your profile picture, and your cover photo. You can also put your objectives, work options, work experience, certifications, achievements, skills and languages, references, and portfolio. Your resume link also features different themes and a cover photo. submit your resume link. If you're qualified, click Submit Resume link, or you can even share the job vacancy with your friends. You can also apply for jobs outside jobs180.com by sending your resume link through any platform. Register, complete, submit your resume link. So what are you waiting for? Turn your life around by creating your own resume link and applying for your dream job.
Okay, so once again, that is Jobs 180's resume link. Please register as soon as possible, and then don't forget to verify your account, and then complete your information, and after that, you can submit your resume link. Okay, so let's move on to our final topic. Before that, I would like to thank everyone for being active sa comments, for asking your questions. I also see one here right now giving a suggestion for others. And yes, you are encouraged to interact with each other as well. So thank you very much for being active as an audience. Now, moving on to our last topic, it's work opportunities in Laguna. Again, this is a panel discussion. So our panel is Mr. Dennis Pabelico from Clements Consultancy Incorporated, Sir Dennis Supetran, Ernst Global Services Philippines, Sir Tubiron of Factset Philippines, and Ms. Casey Velasquez of CDO Foodsphere. Okay, so let's check first everyone, if everyone's here, and if your video, everyone's video is fine here. Let's test for your audio.
Yeah.
Ms. Casey.
Hello, Robert.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Okay, so okay naman Ms. Casey, Sir Dennis of Ernst, Sir Dennis of Clements. Ariel, hello.
Hi, Robert.
Okay, so we're all good in terms of video and audio. To our viewers, how we will do this panel discussion is I will be asking member of panel one question. One question hindi necessary na lahat ang sasagot itong question na to. But sa ating panel naman, if for instance I ask this question to a different member and then I did not ask it sa'yo, you could address it as well, call me attention, or the next time na tinawag kayo, pwede nyo balikan yung question para if you want to answer that as well. Okay? So let's start with this question. So our viewers consist of yung mga mag-graduate soon and also umabot sa second year, third year. So I would like to have them give them an idea on how you end up applying dun sa industry nyo. So I'd like to ask this to Sir Dennis of Ernst Young. So dalawang Sir Dennis natin. So Sir Dennis, what made you decide to apply or be part of the industry where you are now?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, thanks for that question, Robert. In my case, I've gone through, many various industries. I first started out in the academe, where I was actually a guidance counselor in the Ateneo de Manila University. After which I went into, the BPO space where I applied and I joined several BPO organizations. After which I joined, the shared services space, and that's where I ended up with Ernst & Young, right? I guess, what's very important and what I share with a lot of like the previous sessions that I posted with Jobs 180 is really flexibility. Having the right mindset will take you farther in your career compared to just focusing on your skills, because skills over time can change, and technology can change. But if you have the correct mindset of looking, what are you passionate about and tapping into that. In my case, it was, all about learning. That's why, I ended up well with Ernst & Young, because Ernst & Young is like, one of the biggest global four professional and accounting services firm, and we have a very firm commitment in terms of our people. That's why even today, all 2,800 staff that's working here in the Philippines for EY Global Delivery Services, we're actually scattered all across the Philippines at this point because 98% of our work staff is working virtually. So that's all the way up north in the Ilocos region, and we actually have staff all the way down south in Zamboanga and also in Cebu. So you can just imagine, how widespread our network is right now, and where our staff are. And so, this is also a good invitation for everyone in Laguna to also apply. Wherein, right now, all of the staff that we've onboarded, we usually send out their laptops to them as well.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Dennis. So I'd like to point out nga yung part of your answer is kung titingnan mo face value, ang layo ng career, pero yung reasons behind it, yung learning and all, I think that's a good thing to point out sa ating viewers. I'd like to ask the same question kay Miss Casey, since your industry, CBO Foodsphere, I think it's quite different from the rest of the panel. So I'd like to ask you the same question of what made you decide to apply or be part of the industry where you are now.
All right, so I'd like to start off with sharing my experience. So actually, this is my first job before, no. When pagkatapos ko nung college, I really wanted to be a behavioral therapist. Ang layo nun to being a recruiter. Yeah, so and then I got tired of waiting for the training, and then might as well try to apply for job na. So I think parang pinaka-best way of applying for a job na was with HR, since I had my internship before with HR then. And then I tried applying in CDO because of the proximity. So malapit lang siya in my area of residency. Bukod doon, I've researched for the company, and I think we share the same values. Like, for example, having love for God, having a charity works, and innovative collaborativeness. Yeah, so I think that made me decide to accept the offer of CDO Foodsphere.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Casey. And yun nga, values important din nga na parehas yun with any company, any industry, saan ka man mapunta, whether you change your mind kung course mo ba swak doon, I think babalik ka sa values. Okay, so, well, napakita ni Ms. Casey and Sir Dennis of Ernst and Young how yung possible na yung course mo ay makapunta kayo sa iba't ibang areas or industries. So, I'd like to ask this question from Sir Dennis of John Clements. Are you able to accommodate applicants from different courses? Kasi I'm looking at our comments here at iba-iba talaga ang courses ng ating viewers.
Good afternoon, students, and also to my co-panelists. For that, yes, we do, because as a headhunter like John Clements, we really look at the client's requirements. So it depends on them on what they are trying to look for. So of course we will follow what they want, and then we'll hire for them. So for right now, no, presently, we are looking for just fresh graduates, those who could speak well, has good English communication, and also willing to work on site, and also willing to work from home, because these are two, at this point in time during the pandemic, these are two very important factors: willing to work on site and willing to work from home. Because in any time, if the virus surge, like for example, if next quarter we would see a surge and the government decides to put an ECQ in the entire Greater Manila area, then of course those people who are on site would be able to work um, in their homes, no? As long as they also have the bandwidth that they are also required. Because before they only require, okay, if you are a fresh grad with com skills and this and that. Now it's very important that you have a good bandwidth. Probably some would require you have the right tools or the laptops. But if the company is generous enough, they can provide you one. And also if you don't have that, then you should also be willing to stay on site because some of the companies or the corporations, they have quarters to provide makeshift beds to their employees because of the ECQ. So that's very important. Right now, we're still in a dilemma of what will happen in 2021. But we should be always ready. Being tied up with since March, we have already gained the knowledge on how to really maneuver in this kind of pandemic.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Dennis of John Clements, for answering the question and also sharing more about your company. I'd like to ask this to Sir Yel. Sir Yel, this is a two-part question. First part is the same question to Sir Dennis of John Clements. If you are accommodating applicant from different courses, the second part of my question is, what do you look for in applicants, whatever course they have? Kung anong course meron sila, anong dapat meron sa applicant na to?
All right. Thank you, Robert, for giving me this opportunity. And again, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Tubiron, and I'm from Factset, Philippines. And to answer the first question, that what would be the um, if we are going to hire someone from different courses, and I will confidently say that yes, we are hiring different students, different fresh grads, or different professionals from different courses, as we are accepting them and giving them in-house training, because we believe in FactSet that we value our people and we give them the opportunity to learn, to develop their skills, and of course, grow as a professional and in their lives as well. So technically, we are hiring different courses from different locations. So as of now, we are in Metro Manila, but we will be having a new office in Taguig, and with that, I would like to welcome everyone. Whether what will be your whether your course would be not related to finance. Factset is a finance data software company, and so we are primarily dealing with financial data. We are primarily dealing with developing software for our investment professionals and clients, and so we are welcoming everybody because we are here to teach you how to do the work itself, right? So it's particularly interesting for fresh grads whose experience are not that established yet, but you are willing to learn, you are interested in finance and stock exchange and whatever's happening in the finance world. And for the second question, I think, Robert, can you repeat the second question?
The second question is, what do you look for in applicants? So, whatever course they have, what are you looking for para dun sa mga applicants natin?
All right. So for specific job positions, we are currently looking for some software engineers and interns. So technically, they should have the bachelor's degree related to computer science, information technology, computer engineering, and some equivalent courses like that. But we have a lot of positions that is open. So we have positions for research analysts and for different departments like in equity research, in capital, if you're interested particularly in debt capital structures, fixed income analytics. So these are the finance terms that we are currently using. And we are also automating our content. So we are leaning towards the automation of our processes and how to deliver data to our clients more effectively. But we are also looking for um, particular people who are interested in languages like in Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, because we are translating financial documents and we need those skills as well. So if you have these particular skills, no matter what your course is, then we would like to welcome you here in the FactSet. And also, we are looking for some client advisors, which was just like what I said earlier. You don't have to have a very strict finance background. You just have to have that passion and interest in finance and stock exchange, and we will do the rest to train you and impart you our knowledge and the advantage that we're looking for here in Factset. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Sir Riel. So, my previous question kay Sir Riel was about sa applicants. I want to ask naman this question, a similar question, but this time for those na na-hire na. So, I'd like to ask this to Miss Casey. What are your expectations for those hired but fresh grads lang sila?
Okay, so during the interview naman, we've aligned what are the expectations from the job and also with the culture we have. So for the fresh grads that you mentioned, new hires, right? So the expectations would be they would be quickly to adapt, easily learn what are the culture and the values that we portray here in CDO Foodsphere, as well as the job itself. So since the positions they were hired to was open to fresh grads naman, so more of soft skills yung expectation from them. And then yung technical skills would come after the training.
Okay, thank you, Miss Casey. So, to our viewers, usually ang mga skills na as fresh grad, of course, kapag fresh grad, iba naman ang expectation sa atin, hindi same level ng those with higher position. So, I'd like to ask the same kay Sir Dennis of Ernst Young. Is it the same experience for you sa sagot ni Miss Casey?
Yeah. Thanks, Robert. And I guess, one other thing I'd like to add to what Casey mentioned is this. We're living in really unprecedented times. A lot of companies, even 9 months here in the Philippines, 9 months into our quarantine status, we're still exploring yung impacts of, the global COVID-19 health pandemic. For EY, in our case, what we found is that this is really the time that you need to extend a lot of trust for employees, regardless of your background, whether they're fresh graduates or even experienced hires. And so in this case, because we're looking at being respectful, hiring people that really focus on personal integrity and more importantly teaming, because a lot of times a lot of the work that needs to be done can't be done alone, whether you're experienced or inexperienced. And that's why one of the commitments EY has done is really make all of human resources available. Case in point, I'm the location leader for all of yung talent. So this is all of the learning that's happening for all of our Philippine staff. So recently, April of this year, EY actually launched a global program, and this is the EY Tech MBA. And this is because we're recognizing a lot of individuals, whether it's experienced hires or even fresh graduates, want to continue their education. And so EY actually has, an agreement and a long-term partnership with Hulk University. So this is an international, university that's recognized globally, and we're offering, all expenses postgraduate master degree. So this is the EY Tech MBA, and that was EY has been the first company globally to offer such a program, and that's available for everyone, regardless of tenure. So, for example, we just onboarded, 20 new more staff, and that's bringing our count up to 540 all throughout itong quarantine status. All of them are actually eligible to start applying and earning their credentials for that EY Tech MBA as soon as they join the organization. So I think, that's the sign of a commitment of a company, entrusting your resources, entrusting, the people that join us, regardless of whether they're experienced or fresh grads. And we hope that, that trust can be reciprocated in turn, maibabalik din sa amin with the quality of work that they provide, both, for our external clients and internal clients.
Okay, thank you, Sir Dennis of Ernst Young. My next question is related dun sa tanong ko kay Sir Dennis of Ernst Young. I will ask this to Sir Dennis of John Clements. In your company, and I guess sa iba rin, can you share about yung trainings na ginagawa para sa ating fresh grads? What can they expect para ma-train sila to develop their skills? For example, sa John Clements, what do you do para develop ang skills ng ating mga new hires?
Okay, so this would be in relation to our clients now, because we hire for our clients, right? So it depends on the training given by their clients to their new hires. Now, what I've observed in the training, since as mentioned by Dennis, also my tokayo, that we are in unprecedented times. No, we are hired virtually and we work virtually. So that's very important when you are working alone. There should be honesty and integrity because no one's looking at you. It's probably result driven or revenue driven like that. As long as you come up with the required revenues that are given to you or the number of people that you will be interviewing like that. And because of this, these people, unlike us, we were when we were new during that time, we were able to interact with people of also our same caliber with new hires like us in a training program in a same room 8 to 5 mingling and all those stuff like that. There's interpersonal interaction, but right now here the module of training is based on your laptop. So that means you have to finish everything in your laptop, what's required. For example, you have module 1 to 5, you have to finish that in the entire day, and then you do the exam like that. So it's quite different. I don't know how the new grads will feel this way, but since you were born on this tech age, I'm sure you will also enjoy this kind of training and communicating virtually to your other co-trainers.
Okay, thank you, Sir Dennis of John Clements. I would then ask this question to Sir Yel. Sir Yel, I would ask if you could react to the answer of Sir Dennis in the sense that do you have the same experience in your company when it comes to training?
Essentially, yes, we are having a virtual training throughout the new hires onboarding. What we are doing is that it depends on the department that the new hire will be team up with. So, for example, if the new hire is will be assigned to a software engineering post, then the training would be different. But essentially, all of the technical sides of the training are being taught in virtual space in the cyberspace. So essentially, we are having the virtual trainings. And aside from technical trainings, we are providing also some soft skills training for our new hires. So, for example, in our client solutions team, who are responsible for facing our clients and answering their queries regarding the finance and stock exchange and some other economic data they wanted to pull out, they are trained on how to handle it in a very assertive way, how to negotiate, or how to sell our products to our clients as well. So essentially, those technical and soft skills training are happening in the virtual space. And we are providing also laptops to our new hires if the new hire are already or meron na silang sarili nilang equipment, then we can configure it out how to make it Factset ready for our softwares.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Yel, and Sir Dennis as well, John Clements, for answering the question and showing our viewers what they could expect regarding their training. I would then like to ask a different question. This one is for Miss Casey. We are talking about online trainings and work from home. How is your work from home set up for CDO? Do you have like what percentage are working from home, so on?
All right. So currently, most of the departments are currently working from home, depending on the nature of job. So, for example, for HR, the practice is a weekly may set in, set B. We are weekly exchanging. So, on the first week, the team A, the second week, team B is just to continue the business. And as for the others, like since CDO Foodsphere is a food manufacturing company, syempre, we have the manufacturing side. So we can't allow those manufacturing employees to do their work at home. So they are still working on site since the ECQ pa. But we've provided shuttle service and also strict protocol, COVID-19 protocol. So yung social distancing, the proper wearing of PPEs, and proper sanitation.
Okay, thank you, Miss Casey, for sharing kung anong status niyo and what you do for your employees as for their safety. In connection, I'd like to ask this question from Sir Dennis of Ernst Young. We were talking about dun sa coming from sa sagot ni Miss Casey about what the company is doing for the employees. I'd like to ask sa Ernst Young, what are you able to do para dun sa employees beyond yung providing mga hardware and I guess software na rin. Like, yung iba, I'm sure may parang activities and such. Maybe you could share yung mga ganon that you do for your employees.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Robert. I think what's very important and what we've recognized in Ernst and Young is that, regardless of our virtual connections, we still need to capture yung human connection. The need to feel that you're connected, you're part of a team, yung contributions mo kahit na, let's say, for example, in a project, hindi naman na-implement yung idea mo, but you still feel that your, idea that you suggested or you shared is valued and recognized there. And so when we take a look at the approach namin as a site location, first off is again, focus on all of our employee safety. That's why, for example, earlier this year, as early as actually May, the leadership made an announcement to, have everyone work remotely until end of 2020. And now that we were at the end, they also met again and made the announcement that, we're working remotely up until at least around March of next year, and that's really to keep on monitoring yung situation. Now, given that, the other thing that we've been working on from a site location perspective is really connecting people. That's why we have yung mga online activities like what I mentioned, yung EY Tech MBA program that's available for all. We also have our what we call our EY badges. So these are internal certifications about anything and everything that they can be interested in. Kasi nga, like what I mentioned, if you tap into people's passion and what they're interested in, let's say for example, nasa accounting ka, but you're interested in automation, you're interested in how robotics happens. Maybe that's your hobby. We actually allow people to have those interests and they can explore those interests, and that's why we have yung EY badges. Also from a community perspective, it's so easy sometimes for us to lose sight that there's still people out there, there's still communities that really need a lot of help, and that's why EY, we've actually had two separate events that actually three at this point already come December. First off is like at the start of the quarantine period, we did internal fundraising to really help people, allow them and give them a chance to participate by donating part of their salary or any amount, so that could go to buy PPEs. Let's say for example, right, that was one of the urgent needs for a lot of our local community hospitals, right? At that time. And then, of course, most recently we had a series of typhoons that hit the country and really hit hard, hit our countrymen hard. And so we actually had most recent fundraising concert that we did online. So ito yun, diba? We actually had the band come in, and some of them were also homegrown. So these are EY employees. So even working remotely, they were jamming online, and so the proceeds for that were donated to our typhoon victims. And really, it's those small activities. Even for example, for our assurance practice, one of the things that they also are doing on a regular basis is continuing yung mga Zumba sessions. So before, they used to do it in office, but now they're doing it online virtually. So it's really those small moments, whether it's a team doing like trivia night or doing, let's say for example, for this coming Friday, we actually have our online Christmas party where we're asking everyone to, share a theme, which is unmasked, being your true authentic self. So, and asking everyone to even bring their family so that, usually, di ba, pagka mga office events, we're like, oh, everyone has to be quiet, everyone has to, oh, stay out of the camera. But here, we're inviting all of our staff to be with their families because we recognize that without yung mga families, being healthy, both mentally and physically, would not be possible for any of our EY employees. And so we want to celebrate those moments with their families as well.
Okay, thank you, Sir Dennis of Ernst Young. Well, we have to wrap up this session. I will give each one of you time to say whatever you want, words of encouragement, answer a question that was asked to a different member of the panel. So the floor will be yours. You could do what you want with the time given. Let's start with Sir Dennis of John Clements.
First of all, I would like to really extend my congratulatory message to the graduates of this year 2020, the pandemic year. So you've all survived. And of course, there are opportunities available. The crawler that's underneath this video, it all sets our email ads, all my co-panelists and also for John Clements. Since we have a lot of openings right now in the BPO space, so if you want to work in a call center, in a BPO, we have lots of openings that are based in Alabang, since this is a Laguna. This I think the audience here are all in Laguna, so you can directly apply with us. And also, we also have openings in BGC, Makati, and also in Ortigas. So, nonetheless, since we have lost a lot of accounts based on what happened, because before we used to have hospitality accounts in the hotels, in the airlines like that, but all of these are gone. So, but still, we're very optimistic that the BPO space can produce um, enough jobs for all you fresh graduates. So don't hesitate, as long as you could speak well, and then you could be available working on site and working from home. Depends on the company if what they would need from you, if you want to work on site or work from home, and you have the bandwidth. That's important, the internet connection, and then you're free to go. So at least for 2021, gift yourself of these great jobs that are available right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Dennis. Sir Yel, your last word for everyone.
Hello. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sorry. Yes, you are. You are.
All right. So okay. So again, thank you, Jobs 180 for this opportunity on promoting our company, Factset Philippines. And as what we always say in the talent development team, everything starts with you in a growth mindset. So, as students, as aspiring professionals who are seeking employment, take this opportunity to raise the bar and add on your skill sets and knowledge. So, take this time to build it up, and you can learn from everywhere, just like what our previous speaker said, that you can learn from e-learning, watching videos, reads health self-help books, ask questions to other people. So take this time to learn. And also, I just like to reiterate that yes, technical skills are very important, but soft skills are very important as well because these are transferable skills. And as students, if you are confined in a specific course, you are already trained to, for example, um, you are studying economics, just like what I did, and then um, while you have these soft skills, you can apply them to any field that you would like to pursue in the future to build up your career as well. So practice your communication skills, your interpersonal skills, your management skills, and any other skills out there, right? So for FactSet, we are also valuing diversity and inclusion, and I'm a part of the diversity inclusion movement in FactSet. I'm a co-chair of the Pride Business Resource Group in our organization, and we recently celebrated virtually the Spirit Day, Anti-Bullying, World AIDS Day, mental wellness, and other activities virtually. So just like what our other panelists said earlier, interaction in the virtual space is very important. How we make a community, even though we are far from each other, we can still connect in a virtual space. And with that, I would like to invite everyone to join our organization. So check out our details, check out our websites, and of course, you can access job listing for Factset Philippines in www.jobs180/Factset Careers. So if ever you are able to join our organization, just ping me in Microsoft Teams and just say hi, and see you there. See you in our organization, and see you in our new building once we get back to normal and everything's all right already after this pandemic. Thank
Okay,
you,
thank
Robert.
you, Sir Yel. Move on to Miss Casey. Final words.
All right. Firstly, thank you for inviting me and CDO Foods here today in this webinar. We hope we were able to impart something to you. Just to share, we have several opportunities for South Luzon for sales, manufacturing, logistics, quality assurance, engineering, and research and development. So for the successful candidates, they will be assigned to our CDO Malvar plant. We call it our mega plant, located in Malvar, Batangas. And should you be interested, I'd like to invite you to visit and submit your resume link and application through jobs180.com/CDO. Also, please check our current website and Facebook page to know more about our company and vacancies. This might be the next you're looking for. And lastly, for all of those who are still studying, continue to strive as mentioned by co-panelists, equip yourself with necessary skills and trainings you can get as early as you. We're looking forward to working with you soon. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Miss Casey. Last, Sir Dennis of Ernst Young, your final
Mhm.
words.
Yep. Yep. Thank you, Robert. And I guess my message to everyone is really continue to be curious. There's a lot of new things, a lot of new industries that are opening up that you might not think traditionally with your background, with your education, hindi mo naisip na baka yun yung pwede kong pasukin. And that's why we'd like to invite you to also apply and look at what EY GDS has been doing both in the region and also globally. That you may have a place with us, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone. And more importantly, we want you to continue to build the resiliency to help you build things that last. And so when we talk about openings for EYGDS, we're currently on the lookout for graduates from the accounting background to join our assurance and also tax practice. We're also looking for those individuals that are also cognizant or fluent in foreign languages, because we're also expanding our services both for our German clients and also our Japanese clients in terms of our professional and accounting services. So again, please do apply. Jobs 180 has been a great partner with EY, and so we're looking forward to more future endeavors with them in the future. So thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you, Sir Dennis of Ernst Young. And well, this ends our session. To our viewers, don't forget to check their Jobs 180 sites. It's underneath your screen, jobs180.com/UGDS/Factset Careers/CDO/John Clements to learn more about their company and if ever look at their job openings. So to everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that we can have you again soon, whether in another panel discussion or maybe as one of the speakers like in first two sessions that did. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so to everyone, that is our third and last session. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying with us until the end. If you want to join us in the future, I would like to share that you are always invited to join us webinars namin. It's always open. Just check our Facebook account, our YouTube account. The soonest possible is tomorrow. We will have a webinar tomorrow. We will have another one on Thursday. So you can take a look at our FB page, see what the topics are. If it's interesting for you, please join us. And you could also join us kahit sa comment sections. And also, if may gusto kayo balikan, if you missed something, and if you were late, hopefully not, you could check the recording of this video also here in our Facebook page. Everything is there, recorded, posted sa aming Facebook page. Okay, with that said, I would like to thank again our speakers. I would like to thank our school partners, especially SMCL. And with that, I would like to show another message, share to you another message from Ms. Ruth Anusmi, again, SMCL's Associate Director for the Counseling and Career Services Center. So here's her message.
A very fruitful afternoon indeed as we try to look back at what just happened during this virtual webinar. I'm sure you are now excited to create your own resume link and start practicing the new knowledge learned from this webinar. And as you try to start searching for bigger and better opportunities in the job market, again, on behalf of the administrators of St. Michael's College of Laguna, I'd like to commend the efforts of Jobs 180 for bringing us together here virtually. More power to you, Sir Kim Chua and team, and we hope to hear from you in the near future for more exciting developments. Thank you and good day.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth. And this ends our program. We all hope that you were able to learn something today. You can message us through our Jobs 180 Facebook page for whatever question that you have coming from this webinar. And once again, this concludes our session. I'm Robert from Jobs 180, your host for today's MME Live, done in cooperation with SMCL. So stay safe, everyone. Goodbye and happy holidays.